What's up, guys? I finally checked out the Superstitions Mountain Museum and just the Superstition Mountains in general. I lived in Phoenix and Scottsdale for a while. I always heard it was a cool spot to hike, but you know what? I was sleeping on the Apache Trail. I didn't know how cool it was. I'm glad I went. I'm glad I got to do a few of the things on the Apache Trail, but here's one of them, the Superstitions Mountains, which are absolutely beautiful, have a rich history with Native American people, English settlers, and so many different Western vibes. Let's check it out. There's a lot to go over. The video is only like 11 minutes, so let's dive in, check it out. If you're looking for other things to do in the USA, follow the channel as I pretty much just explore different cool places. The Superstition Mountain Museum is among the most beautiful and unique presentations of history anywhere. It's over 14 acres and it's filled with different interesting exhibits, different educational reasons, different spots they used to shoot old Western movies. This place has a lot of cool things. It's a place for visitors to walk and relax in the beauty of the Superstition Mountains, to reminisce about the Apache land barn and chapel, to learn and see how the gold miners processed ore in the 1800s, or to travel through Arizona history at the amazing model railroad layout. All of it's been available since 2004, and I strongly recommend people checking it out. I'd say it's probably about 30 minutes from like Phoenix or Scottsdale, so it's actually not very far at all. So whenever you first get in the museum, we're going to actually check out the museum, then I'm going to take you throughout the actual whole area. You know, it's about 14 acres, so there's a lot to do. So let's start off here at the museum. Let's learn the history and let's see what's going on. Whenever you first walk in, A Ride Through Time is playing. It's a movie that gives the brief history of the Superstition Mountains. The mystique that surrounds the Superstition Mountains is an ongoing phenomenon. When Anglos settled this area, they learned from the Pima Indians about odd noises, strange disappearances, and mysterious deaths in the mountains. Native Americans' fear of the range was believed to be based on superstition, and so the name was given. To this day, the superstitions claim more than their fair share of disappearances and mysterious events. The movie also focuses on the different histories like the Lost Dutchman, some of the different famous Western people who came out to the Superstition Mountains. There's a lot of really cool cowboy stories out there. But it also focuses on the Hohokam people, which is the name of the tribe that actually branched off and became some of the Navajo, some of the different native tribes from the area. The Hohokam were considered the expert desert dwellers, and they were around from like 300 BC to about 1200 BC. And it shows where they lived, how they lived, kind of what they did, shows a lot of their artifacts. This place is cool because it touches on a lot of really cool, interesting history. Also, if you look at the ceiling, it'll give you a nice timeline of the area. I'm actually big into history, which is kind of why I like this channel, because I like learning about different cultures, different people, and this is actually going to tell you a little bit about how the Apache Trail became a big phenomenon around the area. A lot of it's because Teddy Roosevelt loved it. A lot of it is because of the dam that's there. Aside from the Native Americans who called this place home, there were a lot of people, like the Dutchman, Jacob Waltz, who's an immigrant from Germany who came to spend the last years of his life just looking for gold and panning it out. A lot of cowboys were here. A lot of sketchy characters with really cool pasts were here. The Dutchman is believed to have a whole bunch of gold hidden in those mountains, and people would come from all over the world to come look for it. There's also different rumors about the disappearance of the gold. There's old legends. Then they also have a lot of different characters like the Hermit right here, who was believed to be the first Anglo guy to live on the Superstition Mountains. Native Americans tried to kill him. They tried to harass him. They tried to harm him, but he never gave in. He had a crazy beard, did a whole bunch of crazy antics. There's Hacksaw Tom, who's a railroad guy who would rob the railroad. I mean, think of the Western movies. That's actually how these people were. Arizona is blessed with panoramic beauty that almost defies description. Only a limited number of poets, painters, and photographers have been able to do justice to its splendor. Arizona, one of my favorite states for sure. Yeah, learn about some of the lost gold mines. We have right here different maps they made because maps were hand drawn. It's going to have different stuff that deals with like the copper ore, how they lived, how the settlers lived. You're going to learn about the animals that live in the Southwest that call it home because there is a wide variety of animals that live here. Because some live on top of the mountains, some live in the deserts, some live in the Colorado River. There's all kinds of different species that live here in the Southwest. After that, we're going to check out the chapel, which is really cool. It became famous whenever the movie Charo by Elvis Presley was shot here. So a lot of people still get married in this chapel right here. There's the superstitions in the background. The Elvis Chapel is an iconic landmark on the museum grounds. It's named this because of the Elvis Presley movie Charo. Um, it's cool. Like I said, different people have different ceremonies there. There's still a lot of Elvis fans around, so it's like people come from all over just to see this, to see where the movie was filmed, and it is cool getting a sneak peek behind Hollywood. A lot of movies were filmed here at the Apache Village, and a lot of them were here at the Apache land. A lot of westerns were shot here, so it's pretty cool to kind of be where a lot of these famous actors were. But we're gonna keep moving. I think this day was kind of closed, and it wasn't like as poppin' as it normally is because they had all these empty cages for the burro rides or for the tortoise. So I came here on a slow day, but this place was still blew, my expectations out of the water. It's talking about gunfights, but you know what? This is on the Apache Trail. This is the first stop on the Apache Trail. So as you keep, oh yeah, and these have been used in movies too. Everything you're about to see, like this Wells Fargo and Co., this actually was used in a movie. This right here, this hangman, this spot where, from the noose and everything, this was used in movies. This place, if you look up the history of the Apache Land Movie Ranch, you're going to see so many different film sets and different buildings that you're going to recognize. Like, oh yeah, that's the jail where they were at. It's really cool. But like I said, this is the first stop on the Apache Trail. Up next is like the Goldfield Mine, which is really cool. You get to take a train ride through the area. You get to go down a mine. They have a lot of cool reenactments. Then after that, they have like the Roosevelt Dam. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the Apache Trail. I'll make a video on that. But for now, the Superstitions Mountain Museum is so much more than a museum. It's a blast from the past. It's a good walking trail. It's got history for people who love movies and theater. It has the Apache Village where you get to learn a lot. And you get to, pay some respects to the people who have actually lost their lives here. So here's the Apache Land Barn. The Apacheland Movie Ranch laid its claim to being the Western movie capital of the world in 1959, when it opened with a single row of three-sided, roofless small buildings on a site just off Kings Ranch Road, and which is now known as the Gold Canyon. By the end of 1960, developers of Superstition Mountain Enterprises had constructed both sides of its Old West Main Street and turned the site into a full-blown movie set. Hopes were high that the popularity of television and feature film westerns would indeed propel this Arizona site into being the capital. Although Apacheland never reached this lofty goal, it did become a western movie mecca, hosting the shooting of more than 17 television series, 29 full-length feature films, and hundreds of commercials during its history. It's also got this cool railroad exhibit that continues further on, and it kind of has like the birth of Arizona, which it has different cities, different places in Arizona, and it kind of gives you like some replicas of the buildings and different models of actual buildings that are there. So that's cool. Learn a little bit about the path, but also learn a little bit about the past, but watch the path because then rattlesnakes are out. Then the Apache Village is really cool too, and plus Arizona is a big for like copper. It's big for coal. It's big for all kinds of different raw elements. So it's definitely like a miner's paradise. So you're gonna see all kinds of how they process the ore, how they got out the oil, all kinds of different rigs and setups that are really cool for people who like looking at different machinery and items from the past. I liked the Apache Village because these are actually actual replicas of the houses that they used to have. So back in the day, this is where a lot of people would actually sleep and stay. And like I said, Arizona's hot, so they have a lot of places with shade. So the Native Americans back in the day, they'd actually use different plants around the area to create little shade spots like this one right here because you need it. It also has a commemorative bench and different parts that they found from one of the plane wrecks because it is sad. A lot of these are like personal flights that people are taking. And then, as you've seen from the videos, the fog, you can't see the mountains too well. So, a lot of people have lost their lives, which is really sad. But, guys, look, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. I just explore different areas to do. I know I talk a lot. So, hey, if you made it through the end, hey, cheers to you. Serving and Swerving, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Follow along as I explore different spots. Thanks, guys.